make that back-to-back losses for the team that looked untouchable just a couple weeks ago. Now they find themselves in a spot where they most likely need a win if they want to grab the 1 seed for the playoffs and the $100 cash prize. It'll be tough since they play a team in a must-win situation that's coming off their best week of the entire season. In what was coined the game of the year, the commissioner came out victorious. The game lived up to the hype as two heavyweight squads went toe-to-toe to be in the prime position to capture the division and possibly the 1 seed. With over 270 points in the past 2 weeks, this squad is heating up at the right time. Can't drop this team any further than one spot, as the team showed it doesn't plan to hit the rookie wall anytime soon. The rookie showed it can get in the ring with some of the most respected organizations in the league and still hold its own. We'll see if the lack of experience finally comes back to haunt them come playoff time. Clutch win for this group since for most of Sunday it looked like they were destined to fall out of contention for the top seed. But this team didn't tense up and just followed the golden rule of fantasy football. When you need a win, play your Jets. This team sat back and watched Robbie Anderson terrorize the Panthers secondary and Bryson DeChambeau all Sunday afternoon, helping to capture the win. And with Greg Olsen injured, Kevin will be rewarded by placing another Jet in the starting lineup, Mr. December, Austin Seferian Jenkins. I would be scared to play this team. You know, life is just easier with Antonio Brown on your team. With half the team scoring 5 points or fewer, AB just said, fuck it, guess I gotta do everything myself. And he went out Sunday night and put on a show. In my mind, he's the best receiver in the league. He just has an incredible ability to always get open. With the win, this group clinched a spot in the playoffs, but they can't be satisfied with the product they're putting out on the field. Right now, it's Antonio Brown or bust. And while that can work out most weeks, it's not a smart game plan to rely on in the playoffs. Massive win for this team, and it was a victory that the entire league rejoiced since nothing quite brings people together like seeing Jerry Jones crumble. It felt like Hanukkah came 2 weeks early, but this team didn't experience all positive this week. Scoring 103 points wasn't enough as this organization has lost the lead in points for amongst the teams with 7 losses. Due to that, a win this week might not automatically result in a playoff berth. All year the focus for this team has been on Julio. While he wasn't putting up goose eggs, he still wasn't putting up numbers that you would expect from a 4th overall pick. It was worrisome since a combination of injuries and Matt Ryan's refusal to force passes to arguably the best receiver in the league made it look like Julio would never put up a monster game. But finally that week came, and what a time to come through. Julio's dominance inspired others on the team to follow suit, leading to an 140-point outing, and now this group finds itself first in points for out of all the 7 lost teams. Now the squad is in a comfortable position as it appears it controls its own destiny, but this week it runs into Singer. Can we make it 3 losses in a row for Jerry? It was only 3 weeks ago that this team sat at 6-3 with 3 weeks to go. With one win, Plymouth would clinch a playoff spot and prepare to defend its title. But very, very quietly, the champ has collapsed with 3 straight losses. Sitting at 6-6, a loss this week could be devastating. Sitting behind KO and Spiller in points for, a loss to Kevin could mean last year's champ misses the playoffs. It would be the first time a defending champ has missed the playoffs the next season in ICPA history. And here's a team following the complete opposite path of Plymouth. 3 weeks ago, this group was 2-7, and no one even considered scouting this team out while looking at possible playoff seedings. But they believed in itself and blocked out all the criticism, helping to lead to 3 straight victories. The only problem is their early year struggles have kept this organization's point total pretty low, putting them in a position where they need to rely on outside help. But it starts with this team taking care of its own business against the rookie next week. Get a win, then drive the team bus to the nearest temple, put on a yarmulke, and pray to the fantasy football gods. Both these teams endured a gut-wrenching loss that ended their playoff hopes. For most of Sunday, it looked like both these clubs would be able to pull out a clutch fifth win and stay in the heated 8 seed race going into the final week. But with the ejection of Crabtree and the Antonio Brown showcase, all dreams of a playoff run came crashing down. Now it's on to the losers bracket, where both these teams are fighting for something much more important than money: their dignity. We are witnessing a collapse of epic proportions. After starting 4-0-1, continuously blowing people out, and trade raping for 2 top 5 receivers, this team has completely imploded to the tune of 5 straight losses, and now finds itself on the brink of elimination. It's too fitting that the owner of this team is a Chiefs fan, since this group is having the exact same season as Kansas City. From starting out the season looking unstoppable, to now looking lost in every phase of the game, they now appear to have no business making the playoffs. And now, in full panic mode, is it possible this team sits the prodigy Kareem Hunt in a desperate move to win the final game of the year? An anonymous source from inside the team's locker room has confirmed that this owner has already penciled in the loss and is banking on other teams losing to make the playoffs. It's just flat out pathetic what this organization has turned into. What do you have to say to that, Jason?
Yeah, man, it's true. Fuck my team.
Wait, where are you? You penciled in the loss?
I need 2 losses from, I'm going to get it from Swartzy and KO. Spiller, it's going to be me and Spiller the last 2 in.
Just pathetic. He has no confidence in his own players, depending solely on the fortune of other teams. Unbelievable.